Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did.
But he didn't know. But he just don't be. Welcome back to the podcast. Oh, no, girl, yes. So excited for you guys to join us for another episode. Really appreciate you listening, commenting, sharing, liking, subscribing. Don't forget we got Patreon. That's behind the scenes.
Yeah. And before we start, shout out to everybody. I think our Instagram is our most interactive audience, even though it's smaller than our Facebook group, but y'all just be on there talking. So last week we were struggling to come up with celebrities.
Oh, celebrity couples who really like each other.
We thought were truly in love. You guys gave some great examples, most of which came to our head, but we did not say out loud because we just don't believe they're in love.
You don't believe it. Some of y'all posted and we were like, yeah, we had already tried to come up with them.
That popped up in my head. Majority of the ones y'all said, I just don't believe. But I realized, and we had this conversation over the weekend, that we are the jaded ones.
We are jaded.
Not y'all.
Y'all are still sweet and innocent. Y'all still believe
we are extremely jaded. I looked at pretty much everyone. Oh, that's a business relationship.
Oh, that is totally
PR. I'm not judging it. It's just that's what it is.
That's just PR. Because honestly, sometimes two people can get together and it increases both of their bottom lines. People like that kind of story. People like them relationships.
Like to see people together and happy. Let's give them what they want.
We're proud of y'all for believing in love. But no. So don't forget Patreon is a little bit more behind the scenes. You can always become a supporter that way. We also have live events with our Patreon subscribers. But today, maybe this is on a jaded tip. Now, keep in mind, when we say jaded, I still think we have shown tremendous growth from when we first started the podcast 3 seasons ago. And we are conscious that if we argue for our limitations, we get to keep them. So we are conscious about speaking into the belief of there is this wonderful person that's just somewhere looking for us.
He's fighting to get here.
He's fighting to get here, right? I mean, he's going through something to find us. He is struggling. He's struggling. That reminds me. So, whenever I say something about my friends, I'm talking about TikTok. But this woman did a TikTok video talking about she was taking a walk on the beach and she wanted to find like a shark's tooth or a special shell. And she had her head down and she was looking and she didn't find anything. So then she said, you know what, let me just sit back and just enjoy the waves and listen to the ocean and just enjoy being here instead of finding what I thought I wanted to find. She said, as she's looking at the water, she sees this red thing kind of in the water being crashed by the waves, and every time the waves crashed this red thing, it kind of kept coming closer and closer, and it was like coming straight to her. So then she draws the camera out. She said it was a red balloon that came straight to me, and it fought all those waves to get to only me. So even though I was here looking for something, what was for me came to me, and it had to fight to get to me, but it got here. I didn't come to the beach looking for a red balloon, but look at what I got. And I thought that's how it's gonna go. We might be looking for this guy, this situation, this person, but it's that red balloon that we didn't go there looking for that's going to have to fight through all them waves. Fight. For us to say, oh, wow, look at that, a red balloon. I wasn't even looking, what? Why would I go to the beach to find a balloon? But let me ask y'all this. This is our conversation for today. What's up with the woo? Where that woo at, though? Remember back in the golden days, I don't know if it was my lifetime, my generation, but remember when people used to try to date you and impress you while you were dating? Now, let's say once they tricked you into that situation, maybe they fall off. Maybe once they marry you, they fall off. But remember, it used to be this wooing. I buy her flowers or candy, or I take her play, or I write her poetry. You ain't gonna maintain none of that, but you do it to woo her. Where them woos at? We don't be getting no woos on the front end. When was the last time you were wooed, you think? We're still here for those that are just listening. We're still here. I said we're still here for those that are listening.
We're still here. I have to think, and I would say actual wooing was my first relationship right out of college. So I was 22, 23. And so, yeah, that was my woo.
How did he do?
He made me a song. He not only take me out and do things like that, but he actually did other things. So I remember he recorded this rap for me and had his friends sing on the track. and would give me flowers and, listen to things. And I'm like, when I say I want something or I needed something or something like that, he would come up with it in a few days. I remember you said you were missing this or doing that. So I knew he was into me. He courted me. He showed himself to be interested. These days when I go out, they'll take you out and they may bring flowers the first date. But after that, it's like, what's up with that Netflix though? What?
I mean, what do you think caused the woo to go away? Because like I said, it used to be, that was like an industry standard. We grew up watching TV before we were dating. We thought he comes to the door, he has a box of candy and flowers. He's laying his jacket over the puddle. We grew up with these images of, when you're dating, people try to make you like them. And then you get married, and then maybe he doesn't do it after he's married.
I would love to hear our male listeners to hear their perspective, because I know theirs is probably different than ours, or even mine may be different from a lot of people. I think that I don't want to victim blame here, because I think women in this instance are the victims of it, of the lack of woo.
But we also have some responsibilities.
We also do have some responsibilities for sure, because we stopped requiring so much. We don't require anything these days.
Now, is this a chicken or the egg situation? Did women stop having requirements and standards for engagement with men, or did we just have to lower our standards just to have any kind of interaction with a man? Because like if you say from after college and however many years you've been out of college, if you were waiting on someone to make that wooing effort, you would not have been on a date since college.
There's certain things, right? I think it's what came first, and I think women stopped requiring it first. I really do, because once men knew that women you didn't have to do all that, or there were women out there that you didn't have to do that for, it was over. I'll find the next one. Okay, so I really do think we stopped requiring it as a whole, because if we all stood our ground and said, you know what, woo me, or never be with anybody. Right. You think the woo wouldn't come back?
I don't know.
It would. Who would they be with? Other people, other men, other species?
All the
women stood up.
But we're not going to have a collective agreement to say, we don't have a collective agreement to say, hey, everybody, let's stop until we get woo. Like, we need everybody to buy into this. Because, he will go to the next one and the next one and the next one. And then,
until he finds one that does. But then after a while, if it's mostly us, quality women doing it, you ain't never going to get a quality woman if you don't woo. Period.
Okay, so we're gonna drop a contract on this. We all gonna sign.
we need to pass the contract around electronically.
Something, because
sign. However, the frustration is this. There has been a growth in the feminism movement as well, right? Where we're not necessarily sitting around waiting on a man to woo us. We want to be the wooer sometimes. So you can't have it both ways. You can't
I don't ever want to be the wooer.
But what I'm saying is this, and then not even to take that off the table, the wooing off the table. I want what I want, and I want it how I want it, right? And I'm thinking like, I just want to be with him. He's just somebody to be with right now. It's not nothing, So you want to date like a man, or do you want to, you know what I mean? We can't have it both ways, is what I'm saying.
Well, I just saw another video this weekend of a woman proposing to a man. And of course, it makes my flesh crawl. But that feminism piece of, we don't have to wait for a man to take us on a trip. We can take ourselves on a trip. We don't have to wait for a man to buy us a piece of jewelry. We can buy it. I buy myself fresh flowers every week because I like flowers. But at the same time, when we start interacting with men, right, they get points for calling or texting, not even calling now, but texting regularly, right? They get points for, I don't even know what I'm giving points out for nowadays. Showing up, I don't even know. But when I think about the last guy that bought me flowers, I also saw it as a manipulation.
Yeah.
That was the ex. So when he sent those flowers, I was like, and I remember you and my mom, he sent flowers. And I was like, So I know it's a different kind of wooing that I require that's not necessarily the standard of flowers, whatever. Right. It's thought, it's doing what you say you're going to do. It's planning something. It's thinking of me in ways that, I remember you were talking about that.
That last situation with my wooer, we were young, but we were, happy and, we were into each other. And it wasn't necessarily the tangible things he gave me that made me feel like he was into me. It was that he listened to me and he fed on my energy, and like I knew he was into me.
Right.
100%. Period.
So when you say intangibles, that reminds me of another friend I saw say this. They were like, there's a good woman and then there's the right woman. And if we can apply this to men as well, good man and the right man. He said a good woman has those intangibles, that those tangible things that you can put on a list. This, smart, funny, healthy, intelligent, good sense of humor, good family, cook, clean, whatever. All those things. This is a good woman on paper. This is a good woman. But the right woman sometimes is stuff you don't even know how to put into words that makes them the right one. It's those nuances that you're like, oh, I didn't know I needed someone to react to me in this way, or that I needed someone to think of me like this. I've had a recent experience with certain nuances that I was like, oh, wow, you know what? I need to put that on the list for whoever the person is going to be. This would be useful in us having a successful relationship. But then certain things that are basic on the list go out the window. And so now I'm in a situation where I think sometimes somebody can check off all the boxes of being a good man. Mm-hmm. Is he employed? Is he educated? Does he love his family? Does he take care of his kids? Is he gainfully employed? Is he respected? Good man. And that don't make him the right man, because it's those nuances of, but does he do this? But does he do that? And then you also then have the thing of when I say, does he do this? Does he do this? Are we creating these unrealistic expectations? Are we creating these obstacle courses for them to go through that they haven't been given the map to, that they never gonna live up to, whatever we keep picking up? So it's this real gray area of a good man versus the right man.
I do agree some women probably do create unrealistic expectations, and maybe we've been in that place too at a time or two in the past. Mm-hmm. I don't think in today's dating, you and I are creating any obstacle courses for men to go through.
Right. Because at this point, we want you to just play. We're giving away participation points.
Participation trophies.
Just act like you want to do it, and we're going to see.
It's not, I don't think, our expectations are unrealistic.
Recently, between the two of us, when we have been disappointed by the people we dated, anybody in the world would have been disappointed. Mm-hmm. So it's not like, well, girl, why you getting mad about that? Sometimes we can kind of rationalize, well, I wouldn't have gotten upset like that the way you did. But I will say both of us, in the last few situations where a guy disappointed us, it is a universal disappointment.
Right.
It is not unique to our standards or what we're used to, or unrealistic. It's basic.
It was just a basic human reaction to something.
Basic human communication, basic human consideration. I will say both of us had a situation where people made plans with us and then didn't show up and didn't tell us they weren't showing up. And that was just the answer. Mm-hmm. And you're like, okay, wait, now this is like, I don't care if it's your boss, your supervisor, the guy that's about to cut your grass, your neighbor, plans changed. Mm-hmm. I just need to let you know I'm not going to be able to do that thing we had said I was going to do.
And doesn't really have an excuse as to why it happened.
It just,
or why I didn't communicate.
Be like, we just
it was
have
just
to
an afterthought. It's just,
and we have,
or not even an afterthought. It wasn't even a thought.
That'd be the thing. How you made plans and it wasn't a thought. So anyway, so we both had similar situations in that is non-negotiable. We also figured out how to forgive the people who did it. And so
that's why I say I'm not creating an obstacle course for people to go through. I'm just asking for basic human
communication. They did that. We accept apologies eventually after the fact. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, so now how much lower down this totem pole do I have to go for basic? So that's why we start talking about, okay, we're not asking for anything crazy. We're not even asking to be wooed. And that brought the conversation of, where did the wooing go? Like, I am asking to be wooed. Impress me, tantalize me, trick me into wanting you. Okay.
And then you can change.
And then change to who you are. Okay. But
in the beginning, it make me think that you are really into me and you are just a great guy. Oh, he is so considerate.
When did people stop trying to make you think they was great?
What happened to that fun? That was fun in dating. Making somebody think you were somebody you were not.
Please.
Let's together.
When did we get away from that? When did we get away from introducing people to our representatives? When did we stop doing that? Okay, because I need some representatives to date me. Okay, Don't
show me your true self right at the front.
It was so early. We ain't even in a relationship and you didn't show me your true self? What am I supposed to do with this? Keep going forward? No. I can't do it in good conscience. I can't do it because I'm thinking, well, wait, now we ain't even a couple, but he ain't showing me who he is and he ain't even sealed the closed the deal. What is my part in this?
And then my mind goes, when somebody shows me a lesser version of what I think they can be or whatever, or their true selves, I'm thinking, is that the representative? And are you even more trash later on? Like, we got to start somewhere high, so we'll have room to drop.
We should be.
But when you start at the bottom, there's nowhere to go.
Listen, I'm gonna say in my current dating situation, the person I felt started strong, constant communication, honesty, time, attention, affection. I was like, okay, I wasn't even trying to date them. And I was like, okay, but he didn't woo me. Well, at one time he bought cookies before dinner. He had bought cookies. I don't know. I'm trying to find a point. But in recent times, the reason why we're having challenges is because I'm starting to realize that the things he says is the person he wants to be. But what he's doing is the person he is. Mm-hmm. And so I'm sitting here like, well, I hear you say you want to do this and you want to do this and you want to do this, but I see you not do that. I see you not do that. And I see you not do that. So there's a concept that there's something else other than who you are. And so it's like, that's when we get in trouble for falling in love with potential. And we get attached to what something could be versus what it is. And so the guy knows to say, oh yeah, and then we can do this and we're going to do this. And I want us to do this together. And you're like, oh, we're going to do this. And so as you struggling through Monday through Friday, through Saturday, through Sunday, you be holding on to, but we going to do this. But he said we going to do this. But then you're not really. You're going through, not really. So where does that leave you, right? I don't get a full representative in a woo. I'm noticing you have a concept of being different because you talk about it, but you don't do it. So you ain't different. You are this. This is you. Mm-hmm. And then you think of how much of it is, I was saying to you, when you go shopping for a house, if you're actually looking for a house, you have an idea what you want. You have an idea what part of town. You have an idea how much you want to pay. You have an idea how many bedrooms. And that doesn't always match up with the house you buy. Not saying you settled for the house, but you can fall in love with a different house that has different features than what you thought of. Maybe some you didn't know you wanted, some off the table you did want, but you love this one. And I feel like how can we apply that in dating where we have our list, right? I want this, I want a good man. But there's a whole separate list outside that good man. I want a good man that does what he says he's gonna do. I want a good man that calls back when he says he's gonna call. I want a good man that shows up when he asks me out on, and those are the things that like we need to fill in the blanks on the good man list.
Right. Back to the house example.
Okay.
Forgive me, y'all. I might be real jaded today. It may be emotional.
Oh, is this a jaded day?
No. I don't know. I don't want to come off as,
Okay. What you got?
Yes, I agree wholeheartedly. You're not going to get everything on your list when it comes to houses and when it comes to dating and marriage and all that kind of stuff. But one thing has to be right when you're buying a house, and that is the foundation. So when we're dating and we're talking about basic human reactions and interactions and efforts,
right?
I put that on the foundation part. Okay. Because when you like somebody, you build a good foundation. Now, things may happen. The wall may crack one day, or paint may peel, or roof shingle may come off. Things you can fix, but you can't fix that foundation because you don't have to tear the whole house down if you don't have a good foundation. So I think in dating, we have to strive at least to have that good friendship and foundation of whatever, your requirements may be different than my requirements, than the next person's, but you know what your requirements are. So I think you kind of stick to that basic.
Right. That's a good example. But also with that, when you're interacting with someone or you're dating someone, that is when you're finding out what type person they are. It's like, and some of it is you don't even have to lose no sleep over it. It might be he said, hey, let me call you right back. At some point you'll learn that means tomorrow. At some point and so it's like, well, it's not so much that he doesn't do what he says he's gonna do, he's gonna call right back. I know that's just how he gets off the phone, charge it to the game.
But I think Yeah, and I think in our new dating approach that we both expressed on previous episodes, that's just the time to find that part out. And be open to this person not being, everything all at once. But there is a line between, we're talking about basic stuff now.
Basic stuff is like basic.
No. There's something, you got to listen to that voice in the back of your head every once in a while. Like, now, I'm not making this up.
Right. And sometimes the basic thing, when you feel like you're not getting the basic thing, you can later find out why you didn't get that basic thing. It might have been something calculated behind it. It might have been a reason why they did not offer you that basic, so it's still layers to not getting the basic thing, right? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, when we talk about basic things, and I've been talking to you about sitcoms and how they generally, if it's a sitcom with a marriage or a relationship, the guy generally is derelict in several of his relationship to-no duties. He didn't take out the trash. Mm-hmm. He forgot the anniversary. He took the money out the bank account without telling you. It's always something where the guy is falling short of the expectation or the communication, and we laugh about it. But when we're living it, it is not funny. And I feel like because the guy is always oh babe, I forgot your birthday. Oh, I bought you a vacuum instead of a bracelet. It's like it's just accepted that men are going to suck. And we just have to love them anyway. And by the end of that 30-minute episode, we back to squeezing George Jefferson cheeks. Oh, George. Mm-hmm. He been a jerk the whole 30 minutes. And at the end, Weezy gonna be okay. And so that's just the images we see, right? So then when we come along and we're looking for the basic, we asking for too much. I ain't want to hear your mouth. Well, I knew you was gonna have. And it's like, what? Wait, what? And I feel like lack of effort, lack of thought, lack of wooing has just become the industry norm. It's just that's just a joke on the sitcom.
And the question is, how do we change that? I think a whole generation has to die.
Ours with us? Are we the problem?
We're ruined. We gotta start over with our babies.
Yeah. If you have a young man in your life, teach him how to woo a woman. It is not a dead art form. It does not make him soft. It means, hey girl, I'm trying to get your attention because I like you. That's all it means. Hey girl, I like you. I'm trying to get your attention. Now it's WID.
That's what.
So that's supposed to get my attention.
What WID?
What? And I'm talking about grown men.
And then you answer and you don't hear nothing else. What? Why are you asking me what I'm doing? Why interrupt my day with nothing?
But that's a whole nother episode. We still haven't done that episode. Men who ain't never got nothing to say. That's a whole nother episode.
Yeah, we actually do have that one written down.
We have that one written down. Dudes who have been in your life in some way ain't never had nothing to say.
Ooh, I got a couple that keep popping their head up every once in a while.
That's a whole nother episode. I had put something in a cart for something I saw on Instagram, a t-shirt or something. And I never bought it because once they put in tax and shipping and all that, I was like, I ain't about to pay that much for a t-shirt. Mm-hmm. I got an email from them today and the subject said, hey, big head. And I almost bought it because I clicked on the company. They said, we miss you. We saw you. And I was like, the fact that y'all titled this thing, hey, big head, I almost want to buy it just because of how wrong that is.
Were you not triggered? I would have been triggered.
I was triggered. And it's I ain't clicked none of the things they've been sending me. But I saw it in my list of emails and it said, hey, big head. And I'm like, who is this? Oh, I clicked on it. No, then I clicked on it. I wanted to see who missed me. And it was this doggone t-shirt company. But the point is, we do have to require more. I think it's twofold. We have to require more for even initial interaction. We just do. And if that means we're going to have to go home by ourselves and we're going to have to be by ourselves, we already are. So,
yeah.
We have to get there. And then the next part of that is, what is the expectations we have for a union? I think what we've discussed were basic. I don't think those are non-negotiables. But then we talk to other people who have a different level of expectations, and there are different levels of relationship too. And so, of course, I think the more relationship you're in, the more expectations you have, or the more standards or rules of engagement you have, right? But we just be missing the initial woo. Like, if a guy buys you your favorite kind of vodka, is that a woo? I'm trying to figure out what it is now so I can see it. Well, I can know it when I see it.
I don't know. I mean, I haven't looked at that as a woo before, but I have had people bring me like my favorite wine if I mention.
Right, and you're like, oh, that's sweet.
Yeah, favorite drink or something like that.
I think about my ex when I went to spend a week with him in his state, and it was lobster and shrimp, and he's cooking all this stuff. It really crab legs. It wasn't so much a woo because that's what he eats all the time. So it was when you come visit me, you'll eat like Bruno Mars. Lucky for you, that's what I like.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you just getting the benefit of what I do for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, now that I'm saying him as an example, he did things, I think, to try to woo me. But because in hindsight, I feel like all of the wooing was a manipulation, it's kind of like cancels each other out. And at the end of the day, wooing is a manipulation. I am trying to manipulate you into liking me. Now, hopefully it's not a completely nefarious situation where I'm the worst guy you should ever meet. But yeah, I'm trying to, my nephew used to kind of play game on me, and my mom would make fun of me, but he'd be like, Auntie, I want to be with you, and my mom like, he run a game. I said, I appreciate the effort. Run
and
that
he will
game.
Be rewarded for it.
That's what you do when you want something from me. You run game. So I don't mind being played. I want you to say stuff and be a certain kind of way to try to get me to like you. I'm not mad at that. Mm-hmm. But when you're looking at people who don't do the bare basic minimum, you sitting there looking like, am I supposed to be liking you? So I'm somewhat confused on like, man, am I supposed to be, but am I supposed to be liking him?
Right.
Because he ain't even doing the basic. Y'all help us out. Comment. Let us know. When did the basic become extra? First off, when did we stop wooing? Men, if you're listening, tell us, do you still woo? Did you woo who you have now? Are you anti-wooing? Do you think women, have you been taken advantage of? That's a lot of times men will say, oh, women just trying to get free meals and this. And I'm not saying that does not happen. That does happen. That's fine. But also, just like we're talking about the caliber of men we're dating, there's a responsibility we bear in the type men we're dating, that y'all bear with the type women you're dating. So that's who you dating, that's who you dating. That's on you. Mm-hmm. Okay, it happens, but that's on you. If every guy we talked about was horrible, that's still on us. If that's who we picking to date. And when I think of a woman wooing a man or introducing our representative, that means I put on eyelashes and eyebrows for you. Okay. I don't wake up like this. That means I'm, dressed in a certain way. It means I think the way I try to woo men is trying to be available. I'm generally busy all the time. I'm not, me and you, we ain't hanging out often / ever. I'm not just somebody that's giving time out like that I'm not being paid for. I think that's how I try to introduce my representative is, oh yeah, I'm free. Yeah, I'm available. Yeah, I want to see you. Yeah, I want to spend time with you.
They don't see it like that though.
They don't.
They wouldn't comprehend that.
They don't see it like that at all, because then they poo-poo your time, or they'll ask for your time. You're like, yeah, let's do that. And then they'll show up and don't call. And you're like, wait a minute, bro. I get paid for them hours that I just gave to you for free, and you ain't even take advantage of them. So that's probably my number one way I try to I try to woo them or introduce my representative is my time, my accessibility. Mm-hmm. And then I'm nice to you when I'm there. I mean, I'm trying to think of, the last guy I just recently was dating. I don't know if I told you I bought him something. It's different as you get older. I never told you I bought him something.
I don't think so. I
think it was $7, but it was a daily pill organizer.
Oh.
So he would take his medication at the right time on the right, because I'm like, this is serious.
Y'all just think about who you're dating, y'all. That she got to buy them.
Grown old men. Grown old men.
Organizer.
That's why I want to tell you when I say woo somebody, I want to tell you, because when I say, girl, I bought this man something. Okay. Because I want you to understand you need to get this organizer set up so you can just do this every day so you ain't having no stroke when we out walking. That's my consideration of wooing a brother.
Okay.
How about you a pill organizer? Mm-hmm. And you can't call me back? Oh, girl, that's where we at. So good luck. You got about 10 years before you start,
buying pill organizers and oxygen machines, masks.
CPAP machines. And babe, look, I found this way. You can put your CPAP in the dishwasher, babe. Let me wash it for you.
You know, there's young people on CPAP, so it ain't really.
I'm just saying,
Y'all tell us what y'all think.
Help us.
And tell us, if you were a wooer and you stopped, tell us why you stopped. Be honest.
I know why you stopped, because either you got her or you stopped liking her.
No, I'm saying in general,
why you
you're still out there dating. If you're still out there dating, but you don't do the
but you don't woo anybody no more. Okay. Right. Tell us why you stopped wooing anybody. But I'm saying, I get why you would stop wooing one person, because you either got them or you don't want them no more. One of the two things. Yeah, okay, you gonna stop wooing them. But y'all help us find out where we can find some of that. Whoa. Help us find it. We looking high and low. It ain't nowhere. Oh, this might be a jaded day. I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think for sure for me. I know. I'll admit it. I don't know why.
I didn't know that before we start recording. Right. I was gonna say I didn't know that before we started recording.
No, I don't have a reason at all. But
I have a reason to be jaded today, and I actually don't feel as jaded as I should feel based on my reasoning for how I should feel today. Today, I actually feel encouraged. I feel.
Are we gonna talk about your reason on Patreon, or are we not?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about it. Patreon.
That was me teasing everybody else.
Trying to get people to sign up for Patreon. I don't know if I'm gonna talk about my reason for needing to be jaded today on Patreon today or not. That it remains to be seen.
They'll hear it eventually, though. They will hear
it eventually. But it is one of those things where, I don't know, I think because I'm working on my mindset about the whole process and the whole situation, and because where I am in my life and the process and the situation, I'm just like, you know what? It says, what my new thinking is, instead of being hurt or upset by bad behavior, just be turned off by it. And that really helps you in the flow. Because instead of being like, wow, that person hurt my feelings by doing that, or wow, I'm so sad they did that, is no, what we ain't gonna do is that. That ain't cute. We're good. So that's where I am. I'm not gonna have my feelings hurt by that. I was thinking I was gonna have my feelings hurt, and then when I confirmed that my feelings should be hurt, I was more turned off than hurt. So yeah, I'll let y'all know what we talk about on Patreon, but y'all will get this story one day, I'm sure. Comment, share, subscribe, like, really appreciate y'all listening. But again, ladies, when was the last time you were wooed? Tell us the story. Men, are you wooing? Give us a woo story. Why you ain't wooing? Give us that story. And we are all responsible at this point for the shenanigans and foolywang that is taking place on a daily basis out there in them streets.
We all are. Ain't
no pillows on the road, baby. It's hard out there for a pimp. That's all my wisdom for today. Until next time. Oh, no, he didn't.
Girl, yes, he did. Yes, he did.